All right, this is Restita DeJesus of Dynamic Dojo Talk Radio and Talk TV, and I'm sitting here with Grandmaster Alfred Urquidez. Grandmaster, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. But I really prefer to be called Sensei. I know I'm a Grandmaster, but Sensei is dear to my heart.
Okay, Sensei it is. Thanks for joining us, Sensei.
Thank you.
So, what do you think of this year's DragonFest so far?
I think it's fabulous. It's awesome. Seeing a lot of great martial artists. Just meeting everyone I haven't seen in years.
Right.
And if you just combine of all the years of all these martial artists, with all the experience, you're looking at over 3,000 years experience of martial arts put together in one.
That's right. That's right. Now, can you tell our viewers, because we're broadcasting live right now, a little bit about your martial arts background?
Well, let's say here, I started when I was 9 years old. I've been studying for 55 years. I've been a Shodan, which is a black belt, 44 years. And I continue the legacy of Kempo Shotokan Old School, which my sensei, the late, great Grandmaster Bill Rozaki. And I still continue to teach Kempo Shotokan. And I still teach old school. I believe in old school. I don't believe in watering it down. Only the strong survive.
Nice. Now, there are many definitions of old school out there. How would you describe old school?
Old school is respect, humility. The higher rank you are, the more humbler you should be, and to serve and to help the defenseless. Integrity, respect, and most of all is honoring those around you. Give respect to earn respect.
That's right. That's old school. And, that should be part of even today's new school.
Yes.
But with that said, coming from old school, I know Bob's very much a fan of old school. I'm a fan of old school. What do you see that's different these days?
What's lost is that what's being taught now is that it's not only learning how to kick and punch, but it's martial arts, it's a way of life. What you do in the dojo floor and how you carry yourself out there in the streets in being courteous to someone, like maybe you see an old lady or an elderly person and they need help with their groceries, you can go and help them. That's what old school is. And that's what I see the difference between what they teach now. It's mostly about money and not really a way of life, because martial arts is a way of life. It's how you conduct yourself in and outside the dojo. They don't teach that anymore. It's all about every 3 months you get graded, whether you pass or not, and they charge you to get tested. It's supposed to be an honor and a privilege to be tested to the next higher rank or next belt that you have. So why should they charge $50 for yellow belt? Then you move on to green or purple, and they charge even more. So you get 10 students that are testing for a green belt. That martial art instructor has made what, $1,000, $2,000 in one session?
Right. Yeah.
And then you have a 10, 15-year-old or a 10, 12-year-old walking around with a black belt.
Exactly. And sometimes you find that ranks like green belt or whatever don't fit the rank in a way, yeah?
No, they don't. Because, see, my system is white, purple, green, brown, black.
Wow. Yeah. And you got to earn those.
Yes. And I don't go with hash marks. I don't believe in hash marks. Like, I'm a ninth dan. But, see, I don't even have those hash marks in my old belt. Why? Because I carry them in my heart. It's the way you conduct yourself amongst other martial artists. You don't go around saying, well, I'm a 9th degree black belt. I'm just sensei.
Bob and I were just talking about that, we have a nickname for people like that they're called Mr. or Miss. Do you know who I am?
Exactly.
Exactly. Where they introduce themselves as Uber Grandmaster. I'm Uber Grandmaster Smith. All right, that kind of thing. And you're right, Sensei, is that kind of attitude is missing in many schools. Not all, but many.
Yes.
But with that said,
I have a saying, excuse me for interrupting, but I have a saying, I call them McDojos.
McDojos, yes. we call it, if you can afford it, we will award it. So that's
yes, definitely. If you can afford it, we can reward it.
yeah, and unfortunately,
It doesn't anger me. It breaks my heart and it saddens me because you have these individuals that really want to own the knowledge. I say own because I hear a lot of black belts nowadays that say, "Oh, you're going to learn," and they don't want to give them everything because they don't want them to be better than them. And on the contrary, they're hurting themselves. I tell my students, I want you to be better than me so that you can carry on my legacy and make a legacy of your own so that one day you can teach me and give it back to me.
Exactly. And we were also talking about that also in a different show about how sometimes schools will hold back information because, oh, well, you're not a purple belt yet, so we can't teach that to you. And I'm in full agreement that every student that walks in a dojo or my dojo is a black belt. You just I'll teach you. Just learn and work hard and stuff. But unfortunately, there are some places that will, well, if you can afford it, we will award it.
And people don't realize, and a lot of black belts misunderstand this, that they don't teach their students that the dojo is not the building where you train at. The dojo is the sensei. Because if I'm teaching you in the park, that's the dojo. If I'm teaching you on the sidewalk, that's the dojo.
Exactly. You got that, people? You got that? Anywhere. So when people say, "Oh, I got to go to the dojo," and they get their uniform together and their shoes or whatever, right? It's not about that, folks. So we have a lot of
They also walk around. They also walk around. You see them at the stores, and you see these youngsters. They're walking with their belts and their gis in the store.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
I know. He's all like, "What?" No.
And I'm going, "What?"
Yeah. Oh, I've seen kids in restaurants, with their gis on and stuff, like in spaghetti restaurants. I'm like, really? Pizza restaurants, red sauce and a gi. Why is that? It's I don't know.
And at the same time, you see them training. I've been invited to schools, and I won't mention any schools, but you see them in the schools, and their belts are crooked. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, lack of attention to detail, and that's part of the old school.
Yeah, it is old school.
Yeah.
It's about integrity, respect, honor, discipline, and giving respect, and most of all, humility, being humble.
That's right. And another thing that we were talking about was the humility aspect. Not that all schools.
And I have a very good friend of mine standing right in front of me, Grandmaster Sky. I know he doesn't like to be addressed as Grandmaster, but we old schoolers, we address each other by first name, Sky Benson. Yeah. Awesome man that I love with all my heart.
Thanks for stopping by too. Yeah, we were talking in another show about the aspect of humility in the martial arts and how, well, some people leave a little bit to be desired in that aspect. Now, what are your thoughts as to why some people have fallen by the wayside as far as the humility aspect?
Money.
That's about it. Yeah, I'll have to.
That's the main reason. It's all about the money, and they forgot where their roots came from. That's why old school has to stay alive, and we old schoolers are bringing it back.
Heck yes. Heck yes. Do you have any advice for our youngsters that are watching right now, how to approach their training?
Always be like a dried up sponge. Don't think about what you're going to eat after training. Don't think about your homework. Don't think about nothing except that when you walk into that school, you bow in, you be a dried up sponge, and take everything in that you're being taught by your sensei. And always address your sensei as your sensei. One thing I'll tell you, as the many years that I've taught, out of 5,000 students, in the first 2 months, half will drop out. In the first 5 months, half will drop out. Within a year, you'll only have 200 left. After that, you'll only have a handful. And that handful will become one day a sensei. And that will be part of his way of life. And he'll go on to teach others what you have given him here.
All right. Straight from the sensei's mouth. Be humble and work hard. Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you.
All right. This is Restita DeJesus and Alfred Urquidez, and we are out.